Hi everyone, this is Ashley from Ashley's Creations. It's been a while since I made a video again, but Andy and I have been moving and so it took us a while to pack and get ready to move. But I'm really excited about our move because I now have a bigger craft room, and of course that was the first stuff that I started to unpack, was all my craft stuff. And my craft room is like twice the size of my old area, so I'm really excited. I was able to spread out, and I now have 2 tables instead of 1. So I'm really excited about it, and I'll show you a video of my craft room later because it's still a little bit of a work in progress, but as soon as I get it all set up, I'll show you what it looks like. Anyway, so I did finally get a chance to come down into my craft room yesterday. It's my mother-in-law 2B's birthday yesterday, and so I wanted to make a card for her. So I thought I would go ahead and make another one with you on camera, since I already made it yesterday, but I had enough stuff to make another one, so I thought I would go ahead and do it with you. So anyway, this is a 8.5 by 11 piece of Baja Breeze cardstock from Stampin' Up. I'm just going to fold it in half to make an A2 size card. Bone folder, get a nice crease. And then I have a couple layers on this card. This plaid sheet is from the Die Cuts with a View Sweet Stack. I bought this because I thought it would be good to make birthday cards because there's a lot of cupcakes and yummy looking stuff in it. But I didn't actually use a cupcake paper on this one. This one kind of reminds me of a cake or something like that with frosting down here. But I used this plaid one. There's jelly beans. More jelly beans. I think it's in the back more. Here it is. I used this plaid sheet because I thought it was really cool, and my friend Michelle and I were looking at it the other day when we were packing my stuff up, and we both realized how much we liked it. So go figure, they didn't even use one of the cupcake ones or one of the actual sweet pages. So this one is 4 by 5 1/4, and then I have a layer of Pretty in Pink by Stampin' Up. This is 3 3/4 by 5. So that's going to go on top of here. And then I have another layer of the plaid paper, and this is 3.5 by, let me think here, 4 3/4. So I just went down a quarter each time. I'm going to go ahead and layer these on here really quickly. I thought the colors pulled out really well from this plaid sheet with what's going to go on the card. Okay, so here's our layer. Well, our 3 layers, rather, I should say. Okay, so now this will go on here, but we're going to wait a minute to do that. I want to tell you about the things that I cut to put on the front of this. I used my Create a Critter cartridge, and I cut the lamb right here. So I cut 2 of them for my card. So I have 2 lambs right here, and that's on page 71 of the Create a Critter cartridge. For the background right here, I used black, and then for this first layer, I used basic gray by Stampin' Up. So just any gray would do. It's just just a sheep. And then I actually used the confetti white by Stampin' Up. You can't really see, but maybe if I hold it a little bit closer, you can see there's a little bit of confetti in the sheep. I used that as her fluffy layer because I thought it would give it a little bit more dimension, or texture rather, give it a little something else. And then there's these bows right here, and I cut those out in the Pretty in Pink, that same that we have as part of our card layer. So those were both cut at 2 inches, and they're a little small, so you're going to have to go back and punch out the holes for the mouth and the eyes and the nose and ears, but that's okay. And then I also did, I can find him in here, I cut out the hippo. So here's my hippo. I did it in blue like the book showed. He is also cut at 2 inches, and this is on page 44. I did the back of him in black, and then this first layer right here I did in Tempting Turquoise by Stampin' Up. And then the next layer, which is this one right here, where the flowers cut out, I did that in the Baja Breeze, the same as our cardstock base, or card base rather. And then for his little snout area, I did it in Bashful Blue by Stampin' Up. And he was also cut at 2 inches, and since the holes are kind of small, you're going to have to go back, like I said, and punch out the holes with your little paper poker thing, paper piercer. And then I also used my 3 Birds on Parade cartridge, and I did the bird with the birthday bird on page 63. And I took off the cupcake because I didn't want to have to cut all the little tiny layers, so when it cut out, I just kind of ripped it off. But I cut him, at first I cut his background right here, I cut it in black, but then the pieces for his little legs and his beak were just so small that they weren't cutting right. So I finally just said, hey, you know what, I'll just cut his background in yellow, and then this right here, his body layer is in Bashful Blue by Stampin' Up. So this is Daffodil Delight by Stampin' Up. This is Bashful Blue by Stampin' Up. And then I cut out his little wing right here in the Tempting Turquoise. And then his party hat is Melon Mambo. And then I just took a little black pen and I colored in a dot for the eye. So that way I could cut the background in the yellow so I wouldn't have to deal with his little legs. So on the back of each of these I have a dimensional, so they're all going to be popped up. Now let me tell you the stamp set that I used on this card, and I thought it was really cute, and I was excited to use this one for the first time. This is That's Punnylicious by My Pink Stamper, and you can go to mypinkstamper.com. They are Robin stamps, and she has like 50 some sets of stamps, and they're really cute. But she has a couple that go along with the Creative Critter cartridge. So I pulled out my punny stamp, so she's at That's Punnylicious, even more Punnylicious, more Punnylicious, Punnylicious, maybe even another one, I don't know. And I decided to use the Hippo, Birdie, 2 Ewes. So it's a happy birthday card, so Hippo, Birdie, 2 Ewes. So we have a hippo, a birdie, and 2, well, they're lambs, but we'll just say that they're ewes. And I am going to stamp that with the basic black. I'm going to stamp it up here in the corner. I want to make sure I have my little sheep lined up where I want them before I stamp my hippo. Make sure everything's lined up so that it fits. So we're going to stamp it up here in the corner. Still gotta move these over though. Okay, now I'm going to stamp it on an angle because that's the only way that it fit up there. So now we have Hippo, Birdie, 2 Ewes. I'm going to move them aside. We're going to put on some ribbon. This is Bashful Blue satin ribbon by Stampin' Up, so it matches, you know, the parts of the bird and parts of the hippo. I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to use the cheater method, as Robin says, from My Pink Stamper. I'm going to wrap this around the bottom so there's still a little bit of plaid showing. And I'm going to tape it onto the back. And now we can add this to our card. Okay. And now we can add our little animals to the card. So I'm going to take off the paper from the dimensionals. Hi everyone, so my camera died again. I seem to be having that problem often, or my memory card runs out of space. Maybe I should start checking that a little better before I start filming. But anyway, I got the animals from the Creative Critter and the 3 Birds on Parade cartridge all lined up already. And I realized that I forgot to mention that he is 1 1/4. And I also realized that I said that this blue right here in the behind the hippo and the wing was something turquoise, but that's actually Pacific Point. I'll go back and I'll fix that in the video earlier too with a quote so that you guys can see that then too. But anyway, now that I have all the animals down, I'm going to go ahead and put some more ribbon. I'm going to tie it here and create a little knot behind here. And I like to keep it on the roll so that I don't waste ribbon. Screw it down here. And then I'm going to cut it off. to cut the edges like this. I'm going to fold it and then cut it up like that to give a nicer looking edge. And cut a little bit off of this so that it's a little smaller. Excuse my voice too. And I have third graders, I have a lot of them, and I have to yell to be heard over them, so I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit. Okay, so there's the edges on the ribbon. And now on the inside, I'm going to put a piece of the confetti paper for the inside greeting and for whatever you want to write. This is 4 by 5 1/4. It's the confetti white by Stampin' Up. Just layer this inside here. And for the inside greeting, I used the Create a Cupcake stamp set by Stampin' Up. As you can see, I don't have all of my stamps mounted. For this one, I'm going to use the stamp that says, "There's something fabulous about your birthday, must be you." But there's also another saying in here that you can use. It's not about how many candles you blow out, but how many cupcakes you get. So I use that on a different version of this card. But we're going to do the Something Fabulous one. I'm going to take Baja Breeze by Stampin' Up. And we're going to stamp that. Try and get it close to the center. It's not perfect, that's okay. And it's actually a little off. It's a little crooked, but you know what? If we wanted it to be perfect, we would buy it, right? So anyway, there's the finished card. Here's the other one that I had with the other saying on the inside. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my card. Thank you for watching. Bye now.